In 2024, UC Merced was ranked among the nation's top 20 universities, and that same year, I lost my place in it. In high school, I was driven and clear about what I wanted. My dream has always been to become a pediatrician, and that path has shaped every single decision I made to stand out on the long-awaited college applications. So, when I was accepted into UC Merced, I was thrilled. Everything I had read about the school, the research opportunities, the close-knit campus, the growing name, made me believe that it was the perfect place for me. But when I started sharing the news with my peers and even my family, something shifted. I saw confusion in their eyes and heard comments like, "Why not somewhere else?" And suddenly, I started to feel like maybe I had to prove something, not just about myself, but about the school. I had connected my academic worth to the opinions of others, and that became a heavy thing to carry. Still, I packed my bags and went. What I wasn't ready for was the silence that came after the goodbye hugs, the loneliness of a dorm that didn't feel like home, and the weight of pressure without anyone around who truly understood me. I thought I was chasing a dream, but I didn't realize how disconnected I would become from my family, from my surroundings, and eventually, from myself. What I would come to learn is that the most important connection I needed to rebuild was the one within. I was the first in my family to leave home, and when I did, it wasn't just me who had to adjust. My whole family did. I hadn't ever spent more than 24 hours away from my family before college. I wasn't truly ready to be on my own yet. And over time, I told myself that I was okay. And in some ways, I was. But I also knew I wasn't at my best. I'd lie a little over the phone just to keep my family from worrying. And I didn't want them to hear the truth in my voice, that I was struggling. My roommates and I barely spoke. Our room was always silent. And even though I eventually made friends, it wasn't the kind of connection I was searching for. Everything felt surface level, and I began feeling more and more lonely and disconnected from the life that I thought I'd be living. Slowly, I started to lose courage that I arrived with. This wasn't the college life that I imagined. I thought it would be full of growth, excitement, new memories. But instead, I felt stuck, unsure of where I belonged, and I was considering coming back home, but my pride told me not to. And as that hope faded, my grades began to slip. I stopped holding myself accountable, and by the end of the semester, I got the notice of academic probation. That was the wake-up call that I needed. I knew I needed to reevaluate myself and who I was becoming, and what really mattered to me. I told myself, I have to do this. Second semester, I told myself that things needed to change. I needed to stop isolating myself and to start trying. So I made it a goal to connect more, to really connect with the people around me. I was in the Vietnamese Student Association, and even though I was nervous to put myself out there, I started participating in everything that I could. From fan dancing, straw hat dancing, lion dancing, I even joined a beauty pageant and took part in the annual culture shows. Through those things, I started building relationships, and I found people who were supportive, funny, and kind. They were the people that I was looking for the entire time. I felt like I had a place. I found joy in little things like playing games with my friends, watching movies in shared spaces, enjoying meals together, and just talking. These weren't just activities to me, they were small moments of comfort that made me feel like I truly belonged. But even with all of that, something still wasn't right. I got sick, really sick. I had dizzy spells, pain that made it hard to get out of bed, and a constant fatigue that I couldn't shake. And without realizing it, I started slipping again. But this time, at the worst time, final season. My academics suffered once more, and I was trying to hold everything together. friendships, health, school, but I couldn't juggle it all. And by the end of the semester, another letter came. But this time, it wasn't probation. It was academic dismissal. And the worst part? I couldn't say that I was surprised. I thought I should have done more. I could have done more. And that mindset, the I have to do this, turned into the painful realization I got to do that, and I let it slip away. I appealed my dismissal, hoping that somehow I could explain myself, that I could show them I wasn't a lost cause, but the answer was still no. And the hardest part came when I had to tell my parents the truth. They already found out, though. After reading the letter, I had been planning to tell them, but I kept waiting for the right moment, which deep down, I knew wouldn't come. I was just too embarrassed and ashamed of myself to look them in the eye and tell them the truth. For so long, I had been telling them that I was doing okay when I wasn't. I convinced myself that I could keep going and that things could turn around, but I knew deep down that I wasn't being truthful to them or myself. And all of those times that they told me they were proud of me, I felt like I didn't deserve it. I had to sit with the reality of my life. My doors were closed, and in such an embarrassing, avoidable way. It felt like my path, the one that I had worked so hard for, was slipping away, and I was drifting towards something that nobody wants to do, settling. But over time, I realized that my doors weren't locked. It was just closed for now. And maybe that was what I needed, because I knew I needed to reconnect with the version of myself that had gotten lost somewhere along the way. The quiet, hurt part of me that was still hopeful, still ready to move forward. It was time to take responsibility for my future. I immediately enrolled in MSJC as a full-time student. I took it as my chance to regroup and reconnect with my true goals. I also took on my first job as a part-time behavior technician in applied behavior analysis, working with children on the autism spectrum. In my eyes, it's the perfect first step towards pediatric healthcare. The work is challenging, but it gives me a sense of purpose and meaningful connection that I haven't felt in a long time. I didn't stop there either. I started my own small business providing party entertainment for kids. I set up a cotton candy machine for parties, create a Build-A-Bear experience for children, and watch as they light up with excitement every single time. This is a completely new world for me, but I love it. I feel like I'm making a real difference in people's lives, including my own. Looking back on it all, am I regretful for my lack of responsibility in Merced? Yes. Am I disappointed in myself for letting things fall apart? Absolutely. But even in those moments, I've learned something vital. I've learned to value the journey, not the destination. The things I've done since I've come back home, the people I've met, the work that I've done, they've shown me that life isn't just about following a perfect path. It's about making the most of where you are, even when things don't go according to plan. I may have taken a detour, but I'm finding fulfillment in places that I never expected. I'm doing things that I never thought I would, and I'm loving it. These experiences are part of who I am now, and I wouldn't have had them if I hadn't come back home to start fresh. And as I prepare to return to a university, whether it be UC Merced or another school, I know that I'm not the same person that I was before. I've grown, I've learned, and I'm ready to face challenges ahead. I will return stronger, not just as a student, but as a person that knows what truly matters. It had to happen so that I could grow. I'm ready to turn that handle and step back through the door. And to anyone facing challenges out there, I encourage you to embrace them, learn from them, and move on. Because it's not about failing. It's about getting back up when you do. And when you reconnect with what truly matters to you, you'll find the strength to keep moving forward. Thank you.